Thank you, Richie. You weren't here last week. I think it was last week, and I forgot to hit record. Okay, good morning. So as you can tell, Mulder's not here today. He's got me. He's fine. He'll be back in tomorrow, and he'll be back here next week as well. As we get going, I want to hear what you guys have to say. What have you seen in the market? What's happening? Give me some tears from here. Tell me something good. Tell me something. What are you doing? What is that? Are they in Norcross or are they? Two in Norcross, one in. Nice. I'd love to hear that. Are you guys seeing the same thing out there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Awesome. I like that. Gusto.
I had another closing yesterday and I was 18,000 away from $1 million month. Oh.
That closing, or did you just roll over for that one?
No, this was no cap.
Yeah. Hey, what else? These are good ones. Everyone's quiet. Okay, well, we're going to get moving then. Come on. We've got a guest today who provided y'all's breakfast. Her name is Katrina. And I'm going to let you go ahead and start.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me come today, and a special thanks to Jessica for planting the seed when she came to my Christmas show. So I'm Katrina Greer. I am the owner and designer of Lakeshore Cersei's. And so I've lived in this area since 1996. We've owned 3 different houses, all within the same, pretty much the same 3 miles. But I currently live on Lakeshore out in Berkeley Lake. And so we built a home there about 8 years ago, and that's hopefully going to be our forever home. And so Lakeshore Cersei's, Cersei is a good Southern girl, was raised in South Carolina, and a Cersei is an unexpected gift. So like when my dad would show up at my college, because it was in the same town that I grew up in, that I lived on campus, and unlock my car and put a little treat in there, that I got taught by the very best as far as that kind of thing. My husband can never ever come close to those things, and he doesn't try to. He's good in his own way. So Lakeshore Cersei's, I have been a nurse since 1996 when I moved to Atlanta, fresh out of nursing school, and was a NICU nurse at Northside Hospital and the director of research in the neonatal ICU at Northside until last May, when I pseudo-retired and started Lakeshore Cersei's, or kicked it up a notch. And so I've been in Evans Urban Market when it was open for the last year. Sad to see that go, but just sort of do some web sales and busy at Christmas time doing shows and things like that. But my stuff is sort of eclectic. It's a variety of things. I brought pretty much wood and engraved items today, but I also do some sewing. So I have all kinds of boards, charcuterie boards, marble serving trays, slate, coasters. These are particularly pretty, these are less paper, more towel. They're reusable paper towels, and they're 100% cotton flannel. We use them in our house because my husband's an environmentalist, not because I wanted to. And they actually work really well. And but any kind of item that can be engraved, I can do that. I also have an embroidery machine and do some very simple embroidery. I can do the vinyl stuff if you're still interested in that. But what I'd like to do is for you to give me an idea. Say, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Blanca. I'm sorry, Blanca. Blanca came up and said she had a closing next month with a cabin. And my mind just immediately like went 4 different ways of what would be a really cool closing gift for a cabin. And so that's what I like to do. I like to do different things. You won't catch me doing the same thing over and over and over again. But I do have standard things. If you don't want to think about it, it's a basic kind of thing, then we got that. So, but if you want to think about it, and you want to work together, then we can work together to do some designing and come up with some different things. One thing I'm playing with right now is a engraved cutting of the actual line drawing of a house. And I'm playing with mine, and it's really pretty cool. So you got some kind of special home that's sold, then that would be it. But I have, like I said, some samples up here. I have a few cards. I'm trying to design a specific for realtors, order page with all the basic kind of stuff, and then anything, you know, a place for you to write in, or type in what you're looking for, an idea. And with all the realtor gifts, the first time you order, there's a one-time $20 charge for me to do a design specifically for you. So every time then you order again, it has your thank you card with your design on it, or if you want to do a wine label with your design on it, we can do that. All kinds of different things. And last thing I want to say is marketing ideas. So if you do something at Christmas, we did this past year a lot of openers that are magnetic and they're wooden, and you could engrave on the outside of that. I did a lot of those for small business owners, for them to sort of give away, that kind of thing. So, do y'all have any questions? And that was sort of asked.
Do you have like a catalog or?
I have a website, not a catalog, and so the website is limited because it's a work in progress. But mainly, you know, what you want to take away from this is that if you see something or have an idea, email me and I will be straightforward. If I can't do it, I will tell you right off the bat, because I don't want to get in over my head. This is supposed to be a no stress kind of job. But if I can figure it out, this past summer, a friend called and she was like, you know, those neon signs that everybody's using in weddings and stuff, well, they're like $500 on Etsy. And I said, yes, they really are. She goes, you think we could do one? And we did. We put it, you know, I read about it, did a bunch of YouTube videos, and we made it's not real neon, it's using LEDs, but it turned out really pretty, and she was able to have something at her daughter's wedding that was not outrageously expensive, and I got to say, I can now do that. So I'm always willing to learn.
What is your website? I'll see it in here.
Okay, my website is lakeshoresurcease.com.
It's on the, grant, you go back.
Yeah, I
to
did
it.
it the
I think it was like, I thought it was. Thought it was.
It's on the grant, I was trying to write it down.
Yeah, there are a few here. Yes, and that's to my personal email. LakeShoreSearchSeas@gmail.com is also, and it all goes to one place. And I have, on the back of these cards, it's a QR code that would lead you to the realtor order site. I'm playing with learning how to do all these kinds of things. I have a 14-year-old who works me through it. But if you take one of these, that'll lead you straight to the actual order thing. If something doesn't work or you have another question, it's always best just to call me or email me, and I'll help you through that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Go when I want to go. I believe not Shelter, Ashley's next. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all have a good time on Friday? We had so much fun. That's great. Good. The bus was a blast. Big shout out to Little bit for that. I think great. And congratulations to the winners. Y'all really showed out the awards ever. So proud of you guys. Very proud. Well, I'm Ashley Connor with O'Kelly and Sorahan. I've got a special guest with me today. This is Allison Studdard. She is the attorney that runs the joint venture. She's got our tip for today.
Yes, so far it seems like everybody's really getting the gist of how to get that AVAD signed. So good start. March is looking good. Just a reminder though, when you're getting it signed, it's got to be on or before the binding agreement date. I have seen some listing agents that are getting their buyers on the other side to sign that AVAD too. That's awesome. We can process through the joint venture that way as well when the buyer signs on or before that binding agreement. So just remember that's your key She's on frame, but if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to Ashley. She can get with me, or you can reach out to me as well. I've got some parts. Does anybody have any questions on the joint venture?
It's only, buyers who decided, so it's going, but their buyers have decided.
Right, right. If we wanted the process through the joint venture, it's all about the buyer's signature.
I thought there was an email going out a long time ago when it first came out that said, if you don't know what the address is gonna be, put something up there, the address that says something generic, can we do that?
Yes, yes, there is that special language. I didn't memorize it. I did come up with it, but I worked on it pretty hard. If you do have that, like if you're the buyer brokerage page and you want to use that for the property address language, it's basically just saying that any contract you have now or any future contract with this buyer is gonna work. I can send that same language out, or I can go with Mike to send that out again.
That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll help you guys. If you get it signed ahead of time in that time frame with buyer brokerage, that's awesome, but you don't know where you're gonna be. You don't know where the house is gonna end up.
Yeah, I can find it. Thank you.
We'll get it circulated. Any other questions?
So what I've got for y'all today is some really, really exciting news. I don't know if y'all have heard of the Choctaw or Trio loans that a lot of buyers are trying to do now. For a while, we were not able to process them because the Choctaw tribe is sovereign, right? We know sovereign, what that means. So they're not necessarily governed by the same rules. So we couldn't get the title insurance company to insure them. Now Maxine, y'all know Maxine, she's worked really, really hard to get it to where now we can run it through some of the title insurance companies that we work with. So if you have a buyer who's wanting to go through that program, we can close those for you now. So we are super, super excited about that.
What's this program? I've not heard of it.
So the program is kind of complex. I don't know that I would go around pitching it to your buyers personally. I don't think it's excellent for the buyer, but really what it's for is for a buyer who's having trouble qualifying for a loan. So that's kind of what it was designed to do. And essentially Choctaw will buy the property and then lease it to this buyer until they can get financing. It's not really like the ribbon contracts and structured things like that. It's really a contract for deed, which is sort of not something, again, that we encourage, but risky for your buyers. I wouldn't propose that, but there are a lot of buyers who need that type of program to be able to get into a house. And so we've gotten a lot of requests about that. And again, since we weren't able to close them, it was tough, but now that we are, we're super excited that we can process them if you have a buyer. But again, I wouldn't go like pitching that necessarily
Yeah,
to your buyers.
thanks.
And just to kind of run down some of the events that we've got coming up soon for you guys, on April 4th, we're gonna have a little Easter celebration. So if y'all wanna come over and celebrate with us for Easter, that'll just be all day in our office, kind of like we did for St. Patrick's Day and some of the other holidays. Just swing by, say hello, and visit us. On Thursday, April 6th, I've got my monthly class from 10 to 11. I've had a couple requests to go over the contract changes again, so I'm gonna do a quick rundown through all those changes just to make sure we're all on the same page there.
That's this week.
April 6th.
Okay.
Yep. Monday, April 10th, we've got coffee talk in here from 10 to 11 in person and Zoom, and so is my class, of course. Wednesday, the 12th, if y'all need hours, your CE hours for ethics, I'm teaching that at Neymar from 10 to 1. So if you need ethics hours, come see me there. Also, Wednesday, the 12th is our book club. So if anyone wants to join, feel free. We would love to have you started the book this weekend. So it's going well so far. And then Thursday, April 13th, we've got happy hour at Taqueria Tsunami. So we'd love to see y'all there. Then Wednesday, the 19th, cappers lunch for Q1 cappers, quarter cappers. You'll get the invite for that and more details to come. And then I've also had a couple questions about an event that we've been sponsoring called Flipping Mojitos. So it's at Mojitos here in the Forum, and it's on Wednesday, the 19th. So it's the third Wednesday of every month, and it's from 6 to 9. It's a lot of fun. It's essentially just a networking event. So we sponsor it. Would love to see y'all come there. I've seen a few of you guys there, but y'all are certainly always welcome to come. Do y'all have any questions for me about anything? All right. Well, we appreciate you guys so much, and don't forget to put O'Kelly and Sorahan on page 1 of your contracts.
Okay.
does have the April calendars out now, so if you didn't have a chance to write down all those dates, they should be on the April calendars that are in front.
And you can always shoot me an email. I'm happy, or text me, visit me, what have you, can give you more info.
You. Alrighty. Shelter.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, and before you guys, and I have a chair for beers for.
Okay, y'all, I am not one that loves to get in front of people, but this is so important that I have to do this because this gentleman over here, I might well up because he has gone so over and beyond for me and for my client who is a little crazy. And she's the one I acquired from YouTube videos along with Bianca. Little on the, fringe, and she has been incredibly stressful as you would. And yeah, don't even know if the deal is gonna be completely closed. This is just crazy. Okay, so anyway, but he has gone so over and beyond. One, she has a conventional loan, but it's a very special loan. It's something called a bank statement loan, and nobody would underwrite her with a bank statement loan, but who would? And the shelter team. And so grateful because that's the only way that we could actually win the deal is to be able to have her fully underwritten because we beat out a cash offer. And so he would do that. Then he said, we really need 7 days of, or maybe it was 5 at that point, 5 days of financing. Matt, we kind of need 3. And did he do it? 3 days, he got her completely approved. So anyway, I just wanted to publicly appreciate you because.
Thank you, thank you.
And I love that for you.
Thank you very much.
You are so welcome.
I promise I didn't pay her to do that. Thank you.
How have you done that?
Yes, all right, so I'll get started here. So rates, last week pulled back from 6.55 down to 6.375. This happened despite the Fed increasing the interest rates 0.25%. So the big question is why, after the Fed increased interest rates, why did these rates drop? 2 big things. So the Fed's stance, when released in their minutes on continuing 2 to 3 more rate hikes, softened. So now what they're projecting is only 1 more rate hike. That caused rates to push back. The other is the bank crisis has influenced investors to move money away from riskier investment to stocks into bonds or mortgage-backed securities. That's always going to push rates down. So that's why we're seeing that. One big potential market mover this week is Thursday, which is the initial jobs claim that's going to be released at 10 a.m. So not a ton of data is coming out. Thursday at 10 a.m. is going to be the big one that could potentially move rates.
So inventory levels, they're starting to recover a little bit, 15% higher than a year ago, but still at a 2.6 month supply, so a little bit lower than the 4.5 to 6 month supply, which we usually see in a balanced market. Here's a stat for you guys that have buyers that say they're waiting for the prices to come down. So they're not technically coming down, as we all know, but the median home price in June median home price in June was the record high of 413,800, and the median existing home price in February was 363,000. So once again, that's the median sales price. That doesn't mean prices are coming down, but you can frame that stat how you want to share it with them. Great time to buy. This was 0.2% lower than last February, and the first year-over-year price decline since 2012. The median down payment for a mortgage home purchase in Metro Atlanta was $21,500 during the month of January, which is 28% lower than the median down payment last year. So they are now seeing less and less people put, heftier down payments down. We're getting people into homes with 5% down payment as opposed to 10, 20, 30, or 40. And this is another interesting stat. So the share of cash purchases in Metro Atlanta was 35% in January, which was down 11% year over year, according to the same report. And this was the biggest drop among the 40 most populous metro areas in the United States. So a lot less cash buyers, a lot more people financing them. So that's good news for your clients. Hopefully not competing against as many cash offers. And yeah.
I
was gonna touch on that bank statement to elaborate if nobody exactly knows that. What that is, yeah, so actually, Angelo, for years, they were kind of the starter of that product way back when, and they are now gone from retail of that product. And we are also a big player, we're doing over 10% of the bank statement loan out of the whole country. So, we do have it in-house, that's really important, you'll see it advertised a lot, but they're pretty much brokering, right, these other companies. So it gives us a lot of control over that product. And we also do the 1099, and it's basically, you don't show income enough on your tax returns. And the 1099 came out mainly for real estate agents. Because you write off a lot of stuff. So really good product and pretty easy to process. I was gonna talk about open houses. We still are having a lot of success with those, and just wanted to throw out that, you know, we're open to sit with you. I think it helps because of the traffic that's coming through. It's really hard for one person to manage all these people, especially if I have a really hot listing, which seems to be the ones that I'm sitting at this reason. So, I love to play realtor in my own face and, help, get offers on the properties. I just wanted to, that out there.
We're gonna talk about madness. I'm not gonna look over here while I'm talking. Actors I'm getting from this fancy, and while I was in Kentucky, the texts that were coming, and it is randomized, but of course, even though it's randomized, somehow these two dogs ended up against each other. I didn't even look. I don't even know. It is randomized. Please do vote. It comes out every day on the Facebook page in Chattanooga. You have until noon to vote. We will announce the winner on April 4th. So, it's going fast, and your dogs are so cute. Every day I pull them up and I'm just like, stressful. So, anyway, so, yeah. And brides are not accepted. So anyway.
Scott, stop.
Starting to warm up, so if any of y'all have any boats that you're looking to get quotes on, or any kind of recreational vehicles, give me a call, give me an email. We write insurance for any kind of boat, RV, jet ski, four-wheeler, so just let me know.
Ruthie is not here, but she is online today. So let me get out of this so she can speak. Ruth, can you hear us? Whoop, I think she's on there. She's gotta be on there. Well, while we're waiting for Ruthie, one thing I do want to talk about, and she was gonna talk about it as well, is the Forewarn app. Aubrey mentioned it not too long ago. We've been talking about it for a year. This is an app that specifically, this part is for real estate agents. It's a way to keep you safe and keep you protected. When you download this app and then you subscribe to it, you can punch in somebody's phone number and you can verify if that's their real phone number, what kind of phone it is, if they've got any convictions, if they've got any criminal background or history or anything like that. It's really good, especially as you're talking to buyers and people are calling you and you're meeting them somewhere. You just want to be safe and keep yourself protected. So with this Forewarn app, GLG has gotten a special deal with Forewarn. It's typically like $18 a month or something. If you go through us, it will be a $6 charge added to your office bill. If you're interested in getting the app, email Linda Bess and she'll get you connected with everything that you need to do. And it's just for $6. $6 for your safety, just to double check, just to make sure that everybody's on the up and up. It's well worth it. That's the Forewarn app, and I believe Ruthie was gonna talk about that as well.
It's a fun party app too. It's a cool thing to pull out. I really use a cell phone or email and can look up. So it's fun to see like.
my blind date.
Right, and on that note, Sam, come on up.
Good morning, y'all. All right, you already talked about school. No, we're not. I'm excited to actually talk about something other than your database. Is it okay? Can I
Yeah.
talk about something else for once? Cool. Who here has heard of this thing called artificial intelligence that's kind of been on the last couple of weeks? Yeah, are you prepared for that? Yeah, let's watch a video. Let's just read it, Nikki. And then talk about it.
Sorry, I wasn't ready, is that what it was?
Who's using it right now? I'll solve for Nikki. We have a few people. Oh, okay. I think next week or maybe 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna see a lot more hands in here, okay? We're gonna explore some cool things. But I'm gonna share 2 videos with you.
What is up, my Keller Williams agents? In this video, we're going to talk about the amazing benefits of using AI in your business. First up, AI can make your property valuations more accurate than ever before. No more guesswork. AI analyzes data and helps you price your properties just right. Next, say goodbye to hours of property searching. AI can filter through tons of listings at lightning speed, saving you time and energy. But it gets better. AI can actually learn from your clients' preferences and suggest properties that are just perfect for them. Talk about personalization. Now let's talk about predicting the future. Yep, you heard it right. AI can help you anticipate market trends and identify opportunities and risks. It's like having a crystal ball. Finally, my personal favorite, AI-powered chatbots and virtual assistants. These helpful little guys can provide 24/7 customer support, answering common questions and providing info on available properties. Using AI in your business can save you time, improve your customer experience, and give you an edge over your competition. So what are you waiting for? Give it a try and see the magic for yourself. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, did you notice this was Sam, but also not Sam? That's right, my voice is a freaking bot.
So that video cost me $0. And if you can't tell by the production, it took about 10 minutes. And it was completely done from beginning to end through artificial intelligence. Right, including my voice. So if you want to learn more about that and how to use it as a real estate agent, we're going to throw a class on April 26th.
Sorry.
Here's the cute. Sam is up there.
Okay, go.
Okay. So I'm going to walk you through this before I share another video that we took a little bit more time on, but there's a technology stack that you can use to create what I just did. What I use is ChatGPT. Who's heard of ChatGPT? That's the, yeah, okay, a lot more hands on that one. Cool. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, give me an idea to talk to real estate agents about the benefit of using artificial intelligence. They gave me a list of 5 things. I said, okay, now take that idea and turn it into a video script. And then I said, take that script and tell me what images that I should use for my video. And it told me what to go search on a website called Pexels, which I just went and got a bunch of free stock videos from. And then from there, I used another artificial intelligence called 11 Labs, which I took that ChatGPT script. It recorded my voice and then turned it into that text to voiceover that you heard there. And then I threw all of it into an editor, which just kind of pieced it together in a matter of 10 minutes. Wow, scary, right? I want to say scary because I think that there is a threat to any position inside of this world. That if you're not a specialist, if you're a generic real estate agent, this could easily replace you. Now, I don't want to scare you because I think there's a lot of benefit. Like to be able to pull something off like that in a matter of 10 minutes is pretty amazing. Imagine if you just had an hour time lock the way you do it. That probably 6 times better than what I did. So if you're not using this for things like listing descriptions or just applying leverage in your world, and I'll be quite honest with you, I have it writing a lot of emails for me just because it types faster than I do and can be a little more creative. But yeah, if you go ahead and pull up that other video, because I'm going to share one that's a little bit more real estate related that y'all could use today. Now, my home is not from the market. I just also want to just preface that these photos are not mine. These are from my listing agent at my house. So I don't have the right.
Hello and welcome to 3445 Canyon Oakway in Cumming, Georgia. If you're looking for your dream home, you've come to the right place. This stunning property has everything you could ever want and more. Surrounded by tall oak and pine trees.
There you go.
Okay.
This is all AI also?
Welcome to 3445 Canyon Oakway in Cumming, Georgia. If you're looking for your dream home, you've come to the right place. This stunning property has everything you could ever want and more. Let's start with the outside of the house. As you can see, the house is nestled in a beautiful and quiet neighborhood surrounded by tall oak and pine trees. The house sits on a spacious corner lot that offers plenty of room for outdoor activities and entertaining guests. Now let's take a look at the interior of the house. As you enter the front door, you'll be greeted by a beautiful foyer that leads to the open concept living area. The living room is spacious and flooded with natural light, making it the perfect place to relax and unwind. The kitchen is a chef's dream, featuring modern appliances, beautiful countertops, and plenty of cabinet space. It's the perfect place to cook up a storm and entertain guests. The master bedroom is the ultimate retreat. It's spacious, bright, and features a luxurious ensuite bathroom with a soaking tub and a separate shower. You'll love waking up to the peaceful views of nature outside your window. Finally, let's step outside and take a look at the backyard. The backyard is a true oasis, featuring a large patio area, a deck designed for entertaining and barbecues, and plenty of space for outdoor activities. It's the perfect place to relax and enjoy the warm Georgia weather. 3445 Canyon Oak Way is the perfect place to call home. With its stunning interior, beautiful backyard, and peaceful location, it's the ultimate retreat from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So what are you waiting for? Come and see it for yourself.
How many of you are creating videos right now or have excuses why not to? Let me ask you that way. Who's not creating videos and needs to? Yeah, take advantage of that. So ChatGPT real quick, this thing's pretty cool. So it launched in November, like this past November 2022. Has something like 100 million users to it. Those numbers are a little bit dated from what I found online. But we're seeing some pretty cool things. It knows 26 languages. So if you're looking to convert something like that into a different language because you support a different client group, you can do that. ChatGPT has actually passed the bar exam and scored in the top 10%. Has passed the LSAT, is in the and scored a 1410 on the SATs, which puts it in the top 6%. It has 13 million unique users daily, and I saw a really cool story the other day in my news feed. There was a person that logged into ChatGPT and said, "Can you legally turn $100 into as much money as possible as quickly as you can?" And it's giving them a step-by-step path. The first thing that it did is gave him 3 recommendations of businesses that person should acquire, gave them a name, the domain that was available for him to purchase. And then after he spent, I think $85 of that $100 investment, I think by the end of the week, his company was evaluated at like $25,000. And all he did was say, "Hey, tell me a way that I can legally turn $100 into as much money as possible and follow the steps that it will do." Now, with that being said, there's a lot of weird gray area. We're like at this point, like innovation is like up here and yet legislation's back here. We gotta wait for that catch up and see like what this space is gonna unfold. But like, use this. Don't do anything illegal or like weird, but like use it to your advantage. Take advantage of that amazing leverage that we have here. But yeah, if you want to learn more about this, we're gonna do a workshop on April 26th from 12 to 1. We're gonna do that on Zoom so I can know that everybody.
When you did that video of the property, were those your words or were those words that came off the listing?
Yeah, no, everything you see on screen was artificially created. Yeah.
You had to upload the photographs, check.
I did that, yeah.
They have to upload, okay.
Yeah, not the ChatGPT, but that's where we'll talk about the tech stack. So the technology that we used was ChatGPT. I used 11 Labs, which is the company that did the voice recording, which, by the way, if you listen to those videos enough times, because I went back and revised them, it would actually insert me breathing. Like you hear me take a breath in between sentences, because that was the previous recording. And then you have your options. There's another AI called Runway ML, which does the video splicing, which you saw with the 2 of those. But for me, I was impressed with that tech just yet. You can still use something like iMovie if you have a preference. But yeah, all of that was $399 and probably, I don't know, something would take a small college degree to get.
Hey, when is that class again?
April 26th from 12 to 1.
Righty, thanks, Dan.
Is that should be?
We did her earlier. Yes, she was going to be on Zoom, but she'll get.
Good morning, Chad.
Hey.
Let me ask you something. We don't have stats here for March. We're working on them, this Friday. And hopefully the first week or 10 days, we're gonna have something to recap. And guess what? It's gonna coincide in a way with chart masters, right? So we can probably do a deep, deep dive at that point in time and actually see what the hell's been going on in the last 3 months. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do a couple of things for you. One is give you a quick snapshot of the market year to date. Okay, so, and it's gonna be very quick, and I'm gonna talk about some other things as well. The year-to-date of Planet World Markets, January versus February of 2023, okay? So this is, the one on the right is the current month compared to the prior year. So it's a year-over-year comparison. This is a current month compared to the prior. So this is February compared to January. Now, look at this and see how much perception comes into play here, okay? If you ask the average consumer what's going on in the market, they're gonna tell you that the market changed, right? And now they're giving the houses away if you're a buyer, and the sellers, they still think the market hasn't changed and they wanna get an extra $100,000 for the profit, right? Well, if you look over there really quick, you can see that change, and this is the metro area, and this is Atlanta metro. We have a drop in the number of residential units sold of 22.9 or 0.09% over the prior year. Same, right? But look at the interesting thing. The median sales price rose. So anyone that continues to say the prices are coming down, they're not, right? What's coming down is that overpricing that some agents are doing, okay? Average residential sales price, look at that, it also went up. So it's not just the asking prices, but properties are selling for a bit more than they were a year ago in their price bracket, okay? Active residential listings. Look at that increase, it's huge, right? But we're still short of inventory. So that's another stat, we'll talk about it once we get the full month of March, right? And look at the residential inventory, it doubled, actually a little bit more than that, right? Now, let's go to here, again, we're talking perception, right? So let's go to this year and look at the change from January to February, an increase of 33% in residential units sold in the metro area. Median sales price went up. Average residential sales price went up. Active residential listings, that number dropped. You see that? So more properties are going under contract, not at the same rate as they were going last year, but we definitely saw a change in the market from December to January and from January to February, right? And look at the residential inventory days of market or supply. It actually went down from 1 month to the next one. Now, does that mean that we've gone back to business as usual 2 years ago? No, it does not mean that, right? But that means that we need to keep an eye on what's going on every month, every day, every week, so we can actually convey that message to our consumers, buyers and sellers, okay? Now, all of that is fine, right? I think we probably have the best statistics for you guys. You know, on a daily basis, we have chart masters. I try my best to come up with numbers that make sense that we can explain. So that part of it should be taken care of, right? What are we lacking? What are we missing? Because we have the tools. So ask yourself, what's going on? If we have all these tools, why are we not producing at a higher level? And some of you are, right? But some of you are not. Why is that happening? Let me tell you why. That's why I brought this. I looked up and I said, anything right? Now, let me ask you this. And you gotta remember, I deal with a lot of new agents, right? But what we tell new agents is not any different than what we tell an experienced agent. So what does the average day of an agent should look like? Because bottom line is what you do on a daily basis, what makes a difference, right? So what does the average day of an agent, what should it look like?
Figure out the lead generation and calls.
Okay. So let me give you this. So this is the real estate industry, or if you want to call it pipeline. And this is the end of the pipeline. What does that look like at the end? Doesn't somebody buy a house or sell a house at the end of that pipeline, right? What happens to us when that takes place? We make money, right? Now, yes, to NAR, the short window over here, and this is about 10 weeks. And these are NAR statistics, okay? Where the consumer, whether it's a buyer or a seller, and this is an average, right? Make the decision of sell my house or I'm gonna be buying a house. From that point, from that decision-making point until the actual closing, it averages about 10 weeks. So that's a good thing, right? That's the end of the pipeline, right? So what's at the beginning of the pipeline?
All email, all the comments.
Lead generation, right? That's what we do. What are we trying to find? People that want to do what?
Make that decision.
Real estate sale, real estate, right? And we add them and we put them into our database and we make that initial contact. And we find those people that are willing, ready, and able to buy or sell real estate, right? So that's the beginning of the pipeline, right? Now, what happens in the meantime? What is this? What do you call this thing? This is the time that it takes for this lead to make the decision of buying and selling real estate and then closing the property and us making a lease, right? What is this called? What would you call it?
Conversion.
Right? Now, if we want to break it down, and if you're in BC, you know this for a fact, I like to make things simple. I like shortcuts, you know, they compromise quality in my book, but I definitely like to make things simple. And this is step 1, step 2, and step 3. Now, how does that relate back to your day? Day of a real estate agent. I don't care if you're new, I don't care if you're experienced. You're generating leads from 9 to 11, from 11 to 1. You're doing follow-up. And from 1 to 3, and of course, take a break, right? For the rest of the day, let's say 5 p.m., we're actually doing the business of real estate, right? We're showing property, we're going to listing appointments and such. Now, I don't want to oversimplify, but that's it, guys. That's what we should be doing on a daily basis. Now, we do that, and I was getting a stat the other day. You know what an ISA is, right? You're in a team and you hire people to actually make calls and are licensed agents. You know what the successful teams, you know what that ISA is supposed to do on a daily basis? And that's all they do, 40 to 60 contacts. And that ISA is making 100,000 plus a year. How many contacts are you making yourself? What kind of year do you want to have the rest of the year? And congratulations, Joe, and your 2 listings yesterday. Well, we start two signs in the ground, right? So bottom line is this. It is that simple. All that it takes is for you to actually time block it and make it happen. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, class is dismissed.
and productivity coaching. He's got classes in person here on Tuesday, so jump in, see what you think, talk to Enrique. Go from there. He will definitely help you boost your business up and get your goals met. Okay. And then, yeah.
Can I have just a second? So as you all know, we do Red Day each year, and that is our time for the agents to take off and give back to our community. So since Terry has a daughter getting married next weekend, I am heading it up this year. So what we're doing is Norcross Ministries and Families First. So Norcross Ministries, you'll begin to see stuff come out this week. I'm still waiting on a list from Families First. But if any of you would like to get your shopping shoes on and go ahead, it's very simple what they're asking for this year. They need canned peas, carrots together or separate, baked beans, and shampoo. So we all take so much for granted, but those are three things that they truly need in the food pantry. Families First, they are in need. We're doing a backpack and supply, and she has asked that we gear it toward middle school and high schoolers. So our contact there, Soledad, has been sick and has not been able to get the actual list because they need certain calculators and that type of thing for high school and middle school. So she should be getting, she said she would be back in tomorrow, so she'll be getting that list to me. So we'll have an Amazon wish list and we'll have something set up front. And I would love if any of our Spanish speaking agents would like to volunteer to get involved with Families First. Make communication, be a little easier for me since I speak zero Spanish at all. And I think it would be a great opportunity for our market center to have a presence at Families First. So you will begin to see stuff come out this week, but I did just want to put a bug in your ear. We need peas, carrots, baked beans, and shampoo. And there will be a wish list, so we'll make it simple. That's it. Terry, did I make anything? Okay, all right.
We'll talk more about Red Day next week. Also, we'll be talking about getting t-shirts if anybody needs t-shirts. And now, without further ado, we are going to, we've got a very special guest with us today. One and only. Oh, we're doing
Good morning, fellow Chat North. How you guys doing? All right. Happy to see you in here. It shows your commitment to making this a great year. I'm gonna pivot what I'm gonna do. Because Enrique did such a phenomenal job on the numbers, I feel like we don't need to necessarily rehash those numbers again. You guys go with that?
Yeah.
So instead, wouldn't it be nice if every time you work with somebody, they introduce you to 2 more people before you were done helping them? You never have to search for business again, right? So if we walked out of here in the next, let's say 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you had a couple of strategic, very purposeful, very warm, impactful touches that would cause that to happen, would that be good use of our time? Yes. Okay, write down this number really quick. Write down the number 10,296. We're gonna come up with that number. Strange number, 10,296. Now I'll tell you, I got off Enrique's slides, but it wasn't on Enrique's slides. Here's where I got this number. If you look at the total, well, actually, write this down next before I tell you what this is. There's opportunity in every difficulty. Write that down. There's opportunity in every difficulty. In other words, the market's reality doesn't have to be your reality. What does this number represent? This number represents there were 5,128 transactions that happened last month. Quick question for you. Where does your real estate license allow you to sell real estate? Anywhere in Georgia, right? Okay, well, last time I checked, weren't there 2 sides to a transaction? Right, so that's 10,296 opportunities. There's opportunity in every difficulty that each of us had in this room to close a transaction, right? What is 10,296 divided by 12? That's almost 1,000 a month. What is that divided by 4 weeks? Almost 22, what does that work out to? 250-ish per week? How many transactions are you here to nail every single one of your goals that you want in your life? Is it less than that number? There's opportunity in every difficulty. So let me ask you this. A lot of people, when you're working with a client, a lot of them will be like, well, I'm gonna ask you a question. What's the reason somebody's pausing and not buying one right now? Give me the top 3, 4, 5 reasons.
Interest rate.
Okay, interest rates, right? Okay, there we go. So, their interest rates, yeah, what else?
Can't find a new home,
Yeah, what about new homes?
can't find.
Okay, what else?
banking situation and the total economy.
Uncertainty, right? Okay. Okay, so percentage rate, inventory, and uncertainty. A lot of people will say, you know what, I've got a really good interest rate, I don't want to make a move, right? Or they don't own a home, they're like, what's gonna happen with these interest rates? Well, let me just wait, okay? Or they're like, oh, if I did sell my house, I don't know if I'm gonna go find anything. Was it 1.8 months of inventory now? That is a crazy low number. And the person is, well, I don't know what's gonna happen in the market, I may just hold on. Okay, so here's a good exercise for somebody that says, I'm gonna wait. What I'm gonna do, you guys know the market's cyclical, right? It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, and actually it goes like this, is what it does, okay? I want you to tell me when we've reached the bottom of the market. Just say stop when we reach the bottom. Ready, go. You missed it. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, try again. Oh, okay. And here's the point I'm making. We won't know when we hit the bottom of the market until when? After it's past. It's physically impossible to time the market perfectly. So in the shift book, there's something called find the what?
Motivated.
Find the motivated, find the motivated. So here's one to give you some actual exercises that we're gonna go through. Okay. 3 helpful exercises help you get more referrals. Here's the first one. So many agents, when they go to the listing or buyer consultation, they're just going through, what are you looking for in a home? How many bedrooms do you want? How many bathrooms do you want? What areas? What school districts, right? Here's what I'm gonna pause you to do and ask you to do. Go 3 deep. What I'm about to tell you right now is one of the most impactful things you'll ever do with a client. Mark my words, you will come back to me, because I have it happen all the time, and tell me how this helped somebody make the right decision for their family. Here's a real life example. Have you ever been negotiating a deal with a client and it's like $1,000 apart? And the client's like, I'm not doing them, I'm not doing that. You just tell them we're gonna, take a hike, get out of here. Has that ever happened? Go this close together. It's like what's $1,000 a month payment? Peanuts, $5 a month, $6 a month, $8 a month, that's nothing. So go 3 deep. Here's what this means. The first one is 3 deep. When you're meeting with a client, raise your hand if you bought or sold a home in the past year, 2 years. Okay, all right. Remind me of your name?
Sandy.
Sandy. Okay, Sandy, how long ago did you sell or buy or both?
Bought,
Bought, okay. And were you buying an investment property or was it primary?
both. It was
Both.
primary for our daughter.
Okay, for your daughter. Okay, all right, great. So we'll run this. This is completely off the cuff. A lot of times, let's roll back to that moment, Sandy, when you were looking for the home for your daughter. And let's say I was your agent, I was helping you. Okay, so we're sitting at maybe at the kitchen table or a coffee shop or the office, or we're having a conversation, Sandy. So I might just start off and say, what are you looking for and all that. Here's where I want to go 3 deep and real play this with me. It's kind of hard in a big room, but real play this with me for a second. What's important to you about buying a home for your daughter?
Safety, that it's updated, probably safety number 1, but, location, easy to get to work.
Got you. So she gave me a couple different answers, right? One of them was location to work, and one of them, a little bit of details about the home. But what was the important one she mentioned? Safety. Okay, so here's where you go 3 deep. A lot of people wouldn't even give you that. They might have just given you the location, and you say, well, what's important about that location? She would have said safety. And then I would say, Sandy, what's important about safety? You say safety, that means different things to different people. What does that mean for you?
An area where, she can go out and walk, an area where she's not gonna have her car broken into, hopefully. I mean, that kind of thing. That she's a young girl living on her own. So, she needs to be in an environment that's safe.
Okay, so ultimately, when she's in a safe environment, what does it happen for her?
That she's more secure, that I don't have to worry about her as much.
So your stress levels down, what I'm hearing you say, your concern, your anxiety about the safety of your daughter, right? You're able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing you say. So it's getting her in a safe area, right? In a place where you don't have to worry late at night that she's gonna ultimately get through this, not have any traumatic experiences. Is that what I heard you say? Okay. What would a lot of agents have done? Let me ask you another way. A lot of agents, what questions would they have asked instead of those?
How many bedrooms?
Okay, now fast forward to the moment that Sandy and I find a property and we're negotiating a contract. And I have to be really clear, you have to be really, really careful when you do this, and it really needs to come from a place of sincere care. Okay, so you have to sincerely care about this. So now let's say we're negotiating and we got a counter back from the other agent. And I call Sandy on the phone and I say, hey, Sandy, I got a counter back from the listing agent. Okay. And I want to let you know, before I give you the counter, they came pretty close to where we wanted to be. And I know you told me if they didn't go for it, or we're going to tell them to take a hike.
And Sandy, I want you to know, when I tell you what they came back with, if we want to go pop back in the car again and go look at homes and make offers on some more properties, because we can do that. I am with you no matter what we decide to do, right? However, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't roll back to that moment when we first met. We were talking about what was important to you, right? And we hopped in, we found this home, we negotiated up to this point. And here's what the seller said, right? The seller said we're $1,500 apart. And if we can get to this $1,500, they're willing to move forward, and we can go ahead and move toward the closing table, right? We can get your home, your daughter into a safe home in a good area. Sandy will be able to sleep at night, right? And you know she's getting the experience and the safety that she needs in her home. Again, I know that's what you want. And if we want to move, if we want to tell them to take a hike, we can. Right now, we'll get back in this car, we'll go look at properties. However, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't bring that up. With $1,500 apart, what do we want to do? Do we want to tell them to take a hike, or do we want to go ahead and accept the offer and get your daughter in the safe area?
Yeah, want to get her to stay there.
Do you see the difference? This is taking her back to her real why. It's not the $1,500. You just say it another way and don't do this. It is giving up the safety of your dollar, the safety of your dollar with $8 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you heard me say it numerous times, I'm with you. We can tell them to take a hike, we go, and I meant every word of that. I will get you the places you want, will take as much time as we need. But we have to go 3 deep first with her, because if we never had that conversation up front, we couldn't have done that. Does that make sense? And there's different reasons for everybody. So number one, go 3 deep. Okay, let me ask you something else. What does someone do when the experience they receive far exceeds their expectations?
I tell everybody.
They tell somebody about it, right? But you can't just meet expectations, have the far exceed expectations. So are we filling a function or creating an experience for our clients?
Experience.
How do we create experience? Are we just showing properties, you know, and opening the door, negotiating the deal? Like, what are we specifically doing? Write this down. What am I doing to create a wow experience for my client? Yeah, what am I doing to surprise and delight my clients? Okay, I'll give you 2 things, then we're gonna wrap up in 3 minutes because we're past time. Okay, here's what I want to do for you. This is what I wrote down. So I'll give you some examples. I want your mind to go where you want to go. I used to deliver warm cookies to the client, like Tip Streets. I would send Tip Streets warm cookies with milk to their office on purpose, right? Right after we got outside the due diligence period. It would say, congratulations, we're 1 step closer to getting you to that home, right? I'm honored to be your partner on this journey. And when you're, you know, coworkers are walking by, they smell the warm cookies, like, who got you cookies? Where those come from? My real estate agent. My real estate agent didn't give me cookies. That's because you need to use sand. You know what I mean? You see what I mean? So warm cookies. What's the second one? I used to always give a bag. I would mail them a bag of popcorn and a Visa gift card, and after the appraisal contingency, because that's one of the next hurdles, getting the appraisal done. I'll say, hey, kick your feet up, you know, relax a little bit, run a movie on me, here's a bag of popcorn, a gift card, rent your favorite movie on your, you know, device of choice. Okay, again, it's a warm touch. How much does that cost? Bag of popcorn, $5 gift card, nothing, you know?
That was after what?
What's that? After appraisal. It's like, you think of the big triggers in the experience, it's due diligence period, appraisal contingency, financing contingency period, and then closing, right? So the next one would be, so I used to send them food on, let's say, like Uber Eats or whatever else, after we got through the financing contingency. So once that's done, once due diligence, appraisal, and financing is done, we're pretty much smooth sailing until the closing table. So I'd say, I want you guys to have dinner on me. Okay, how would I know what place they like for dinner? Ask them questions. Okay, in the first meeting, I'm not gonna do this exercise because we've done it before. And Andy and Leslie teach us where this actually came from. I heard it from a guy named Chad Himes 7 years ago. Okay, and then I shared it with Andy and Leslie. I think they teach it somewhat in 36 Touch. If at the end of the meeting with Sandy, I would say, hey, Sandy, I'm so excited to help you on this journey and find your daughter a great safe home to live in, you know, set her up for the future. And I want to play a fun game with you. Just want to ask you a couple quick questions to learn a little more about you. That'd be okay? And I then ask her, if I handed you $1, we're at the gas station, what would you buy with it? You can't give it away, you have to buy something. And then I'd say, what about $5? What about $10? What if we're going to lunch or dinner? You have $50. What about $100? I'll go through those 5 or 6 numbers and let her answer, but I get specifics. She might say a certain restaurant. I say, if I was to go there, what should I get? It's a great way of saying, what would you get if you were there, right? And I'm able to find out what she wants. So now I can do Uber Eats with her exact meal that she wants after we get through the financing contingency. Make sense? We're so quick to spend money to try to get people to like us that we don't know. Right, like online leads or whatever else, rather than making this the year of your database and pouring into everybody and creating a wonderful event. Does this make sense? Okay, the last one I want to share with you is something called brag. Sorry, you're gonna agree. BRAG. I've shared this once before here because it's a very important exercise. Let's say I'm talking with Sandy. It's 2 days, let's say it's Friday and closing is happening on Monday. Okay, has this ever happened? Pause for a second, think about this. You ever had a seller promise to do something, not do it? Me? Right, it just happened. So let's say it's Friday, I call Sandy and I went by I was talking to the listing agent just to check up and make sure all the repairs were done that we were supposed to be, we're gonna do for Monday, it has to be done. And he says, oh, they weren't able to replace, this window above the front door that they said they were gonna replace. And the seller said, look, they've done everything they can, they're sorry, that, take it or leave it, this is what's happening, we're closing on Monday. All right, so this is what this was sound like. I would call Sandy and I would say, hey, Sandy, do you have a minute? I want to give you an update on our closing on Monday. She said, yeah, sure, what's going on? I'd say, Sandy, I just called the listing agent and I know one of them, they're almost done pretty much everything we asked for, they're complete with except for one item, right? This is where the B stands for blow it up, write down blow it up, okay? So they promised they were gonna replace that window above the front door. I know that was a deal breaker. And if they didn't do it, you didn't want to buy the house. And what they said is they can't find the window, the contractor can't get out there, they just don't know what to do. Now R stands for resolve it, okay, resolve it. So I'd say, Sandy, I call in a favor. I have a couple of our contractors that I use around town, I call in a favor. And I found a guy that I was able to pull some strings. He actually has a window coming in tomorrow. He's gonna install it this weekend and we're gonna go to close on Monday. That's resolved it. What do you think she's gonna say in that moment?
You're the best.
You're the best. Thank you. I appreciate it because you blew it up and you resolved it. That's her. The A is for acknowledgement. She's acknowledged it, Once she's acknowledged it, now you have the G for go green. Now you could just say, oh, shucks, thanks, no problem. I appreciate the compliments. See you on Monday. Instead, say this. Say, Sandy, thank you so much. I've so much enjoyed our daily conversations. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you on Monday. And here's what I'd ask of you. When we first met, I told you how I know I did a good job is if you were comfortable enough introducing me to the people that you care about. And all I'd ask is that the next time you come across somebody who's looking to buy or sell a home, that you take out your phone and you call me, you let me know I can help. Can you do that for me? That's what she would in that moment say, yes, of course, right? Because it's still on her mind. So the last piece of this, I want to roll back to the very first meeting. You've got to plant a referral seed at that first meeting at the kitchen table. There's two ways to do this. Look up Mike Hicks, the promise. Mike Hicks, the promise. Mike Hicks, the promise. Just look it up on YouTube. The 2-minute video, and that's how you set the referral seed up front. And then every time you're doing these touches that we talked about, they're remembering it. Every time you do this exercise, you're planting that referral seed again. That'll help you get more referrals. Is it helpful? Okay, all right, we're past time. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys, just a couple more minutes, we're gonna pop through and do a couple announcements. Calendar for this week, today there is a tech orientation in Spanish, so if you need that, the Spanish, Lucy will be here for that. Pay score is tonight, every Tuesday night. If you know anybody interested in getting their real estate license, have them join our Zoom call. It's at 5:30. You can connect me with that person in an email or text, and then I will send on that Zoom link for you. Tomorrow, ProMove is coming in to do training for, there were about 12 to 14 of you who talked to ProMove. He's going to do additional training about scripts, about how to convert those rental clients into your rental clients and get them added to your pipeline. So that is a special ProMove training. If you're interested, see me. And then tomorrow there is on Wednesday, yes, also the bilingual session and contracts for our Spanish agents. On Thursday, Tyler is here for tech appointments. And also on Thursday, we are going to be doing another Club 201. Get your contacts downloaded into Command and get them connected onto that 36 touch plan. As you might have seen, I think that's my next thing. Yes, Club 201, we are doing a contest. So by Friday, if you want to be entered into the contest to win $201. You need to send me or Jessica a screenshot of your contacts. You can do it from your phone and you can pull up Command and get your screenshot that way. You can do it from logging into Command itself, but I need to have that screenshot. You send it to us. And team meeting next week, we will be doing the Wheel of Fortune with everybody's names. So make sure you send us that screenshot. Classes coming up, so have you keep in mind in April, career visioning, this is all about growing, building your team and what you want to do. That's a fantastic class. See me for more information on that. Appraisal class is April 12th. That is a 3 CE, is it not? Yes, it is a 3 CE class. And you need to register for that class. It's also on our Sunday newsletter, so you can get the link there. Maymar is doing a fair housing event on the 14th. That'll be a fun day out at, where is it?
The school right.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the name. I'm picturing out in Warrensville. Start Masters, as we mentioned, first quarter stats is April 21st. It is at Forsyth Conference Center, Linear Tech, whichever you want to do. That is a fantastic class. You need to go there. You need to be the master of the market. You know what's happening. We're going to be talking about first quarter stats. And then another 3 CE classes coming up. Actually, I think there's 4 in April. So grab that calendar on your way out so you can see. Gilstrap will be here to do an exterminating 3 CE. And there we go. Art, it's all you.
Good morning, Chat North. Happy Gratitude Tuesday. Let's take time to think about what you want and need from today. Perhaps you want to spend time with family or friends. Do something relaxing or energetic and sporty. Whatever you do, make sure you have some quality time for you and just don't let Tuesday pass you by. So let's think big, aim high, act bold. Peace and love, Chat North.
Self and have a great week. We'll see you soon.